Welcome to Visions Unlimited. I'm so glad that you joined us because this is going to be exciting. Oh, just wait till you hear how exciting it's going to be. We're going to be listening to the most fantastic sound of bell ringing. And in fact, before I introduce you to Carla and Larry, let's hear a little bell ringing. Go ahead, go for it. That was beautiful.
Thank you.
Absolutely beautiful.
Thank you.
Carla.
Hi.
Thank you so much for coming. Larry, I think that was absolutely beautiful. What was the name of the piece you just sang?
That was
Played.
By the Light of the Silvery Moon.
By the Light of the Silvery Moon. For all the music lovers out there, I think it's fabulous to listen to these beautiful bells. Could I hold one?
Here's one.
There you go.
Oh,
Hold it. That's
hold it that
That
way. Oh, this is so much fun. Well, before we really talk about the bells, let's talk about you. I'd like to know, why don't you share with us something about you and your background and how did you get into bell ringing?
Funny enough, we both started in 1987, but we were 6,000 miles apart at the time. I was in England and Larry was over here in California. And bells brought us together because we met online. And here we are. Now we've been playing duets.
That's wonderful. Well, my goodness, I can't imagine that the bells ringing so loudly that one could hear the other, but evidently it must have. So I understand you met online.
We did.
Isn't that fabulous? That is fabulous. Well, I think that okay, well now, when did you start though, yourself?
In 1987.
And then the first time you picked up a bell, someone said, "Here."
Yes, actually, it was in England at Christmas, and they go around in England. Some of the bell ringers in England go around and play in the pubs, and they play Christmas carols.
Oh,
and that was where I first and I joined a group in the church in England, and and just went from there. And then I joined another group and a bigger group, and that was it. Once you start, you tend to get
the
hooked.
bells kept ringing a little louder and louder and louder for you,
Yeah,
didn't they?
that's right.
Okay, Larry, and your background, how did you start bell ringing?
Well, I was at a choral music conference in 1987, and they had a handbell track, so I took that. Went back the next year, took it again, volunteered to be a sub at church. They called me practically every week for the rest of the season, so I decided to do it all the time. And then I joined another group, and it's been going on and on since. And now we have our own group.
Now you have your own group. That's wonderful. And I understand that this is going to be this is an invitation to people to please come and help support the people in the typhoon. Talk about the program.
Well, we were talking about what we could do for Philippine support because of all the typhoons and the disasters that have followed because of their damage. And so we thought, well, we might just go down to Castro Street and do some busking and have people contribute some dollars. And then at some point, Carla said, well, what if we have a concert? So then we called our church, Los Altos United Methodist Church, and asked them what they thought of the idea. And all of a sudden, they had a whole bunch of people come on in and say, well, tell you what, we've got somebody to do the audio and somebody to do the video and somebody to... And then we called our friend Paul, who is the senior organist there, and he came up and said, well, I can play a couple of pieces. And I said, by the way, I have this vocal quartet piece. How about we do that too? And sure, it makes a very exciting program.
I understand you have a choral group too?
Well, that's the four of them. There's
I see.
four women. They're going to sing in this piece. I think it's called What to Drink and What to Eat. It's got some very fascinating poetry that goes with it. And we have yet to hear the music, but I think it's going to be tremendous fun.
Oh, it sounds wonderful. And the purpose of this whole program is to support and help out the people in the typhoon, right?
Yes.
That's right.
I think that's wonderful. It's amazing how talents just all of a sudden emerge, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So now let's talk about the bells. My goodness, these bells, the history of these bells, they're interesting little instruments that I'm looking at right now. And talk about the bells, describe them, what's the history?
They're actually made of bronze. These ones are made by an American manufacturer, but originally handbells first started in the use of the handbells as we know them now started in England, again in the pubs. It's part of English history, I think.
I think I'm going to go to the pubs.
Yeah, it was a way for the tower bell ringers to practice. They would take the bells and basically do the same as they do with the big tower bells in the pubs where it was warmer and they wouldn't disturb the neighbours. And that's how it started. And at some point somebody said, hey, you could play tunes on these. And so handbell tune ringing began, and that's it.
Yes. And now we can play, we have repertoire which is incredible stuff. There was a first Japanese group that came and played something like The Flight of the Bumblebee and just blew everybody away.
No kidding. Wow, that's amazing. And so do you have any particular teachers that... or you're just part of a group, or
it's the kind of thing you tend to learn as you go. You know, you start playing with one group, and there's always something to learn. There's always someone who's better, and something that you can learn to do that you couldn't do before. And you just make connections all over the handbell world and learn.
what are some of the other instruments that are played with the bells?
Oh, practically anything. Organ, piano, harp, violin, flute, clarinet, and there's actual music for all of those too. We've even I was in a group called Bay Bells that actually did some concerts with the California Pops. So we had a concert, kind of a band symphony set up with handbells.
And you're going to play some more for us too, right?
Yes.
Well, what are some of the other pieces you're going to play today?
We've got some new music. As you continue to play, you start exploring more of what you can do. And so what we've done is taken a bunch of the pieces out of the Nutcracker by Tchaikovsky, and we've boiled them down into 8 bells each. It's makes for a very interesting time for us when we play it because it's more challenging than anything else we've ever tried. But it's a lot of fun. So our first piece there is the Kingdom of Sweets.
Kingdom of Sweets. Okay. Well, let's see. There's all sorts of thoughts that I have in my mind, but maybe before you play that, could you maybe show me how to play this bell?
Yeah, I mean the basic way to play it is to tilt it forward so that the clapper will strike. There you go, you already have a note, and then if you just do it with the That's it. Just there you
Very
go.
nice.
Very good.
I'm a master.
Now we'll be recruiting because we're looking for more people at Los Altos United Methodist. So if if anybody wants to come along, that's all there is to it. More or
Well,
less.
you heard me sing earlier, I think you said.
Well, I can't sing either, but
Okay, well, it's an absolutely fascinating bell. I didn't realize, and this is also the E. So
Each bell's a different note.
A
Like,
note,
as it's if
okay.
you had your piano completely taken apart and put all over the place.
so when you play a chord on the piano, I can play the piano. So like a C chord, then you have 3 bells.
Yes.
yes.
Ah, interesting. Absolutely fascinating. Just out of curiosity also, what does a bell like this cost?
That one's about, $250.
Wow.
And they go from that size, they go much smaller and much higher pitched. And when you get down to the lowest bells, they cost, $5,000 a piece.
No kidding. Why are they much more expensive?
Because they have a lot more metal, and bells are a precision instrument, so you have to take the metal blank and you have to lathe it out and mill it properly so it sounds correctly, and then you have to make sure it's got the right pitch to it, and protect it with a large box if it's a large bell, and then remember that when people buy it, they have to know what they're doing, so they sell them at high prices so that we remember that.
And so these are sold in any music store, right? Maybe? Or
I think you generally have to buy them from the manufacturer because they have all of the bells there. They're in Pennsylvania. You make the order by calling them or going online, and then they ship them to you.
wow. So one full scale from C to C,
C to C, that would
that
be...
would cost quite a bit of money.
Yeah, maybe $3,000. And if you buy the full 7.5 octave range, it could cost you, maybe $60,000.
Let's see, the cost comparing to a grand piano. I'm
Yes.
thinking,
Yeah.
these are amazing though. And then of course, how do you take care of them? Is
We
there a
have-
special way to take care of them?
Well, you have to polish them with non-abrasive polish because you don't want to take metal off them. And then if you're really disciplined about it after you practice with them and maybe touch them or something, you might rub them down with a special cloth to make sure that you get any finger oil off.
And I noticed that you wear gloves.
Yes, they protect the bells. Some people think, we think they protect us because really we have bits of foam in them because ringing 10, 20,000 notes a minute, an hour, means that our hands could take a lot of strain, and we've actually gotten blisters and little nicks and everything from playing for a long time.
Oh, there's so much more information that I didn't realize there. So, and I don't want to take the time away from the music because I think our audience probably wants to hear your music more than all the technical things. But that's interesting too. So, all right. So now the performance is for the purpose of helping people with typhoon, and this is an invitation.
Yes, to the whole
Please,
world.
For the whole world,
Because-
invitation.
Because we'll be there in person, but
Okay.
we'll also have it online.
And so come to the United Methodist Church. Is that?
Yes, Los Altos
Okay.
United Methodist.
And it's a concert for the Philippines. Yes, it's going to be November 23rd
Yes.
at 3 p.m. So, all right, go for it. There you go.
Thank you.
I loved it. That was wonderful. And you're
you.
going to maybe play a second one?
Yes, we have the Chinese dance from the Nutcracker Suite.
Okay. Beautiful, absolutely beautiful.
Thank you.
Sorry, excuse me. You know, I can just envision, I've never been to England, but a very, very cold trip walking down the avenue, maybe at Christmas time especially, and listening to those bells with the snow and everything. I'm just kind of envisioning. It sounds so wonderful.
They do that a lot in England. I mean, people think that handbells, they are for all year round, but they are actually very special at Christmas.
Well, I would imagine that. Now, but you also play other places. You play at the, you said you on the Mountain View Avenue, or
we're going to be doing the community event, the German Christmas market on December the 14th. We'll be there.
December the 14th. Okay.
Yes, yeah.
All right.
And after we do that, we're going to run up to El Cerrito and play at the Sundar Shadi holiday display.
So I wanted to make sure that, though, the invitation that I had mentioned that the United Methodist Church is in Los Altos.
Yes.
I don't think I've mentioned that before.
Right.
So they wouldn't know for
That's
sure.
important, because
Yes.
there's another one with the same name in Long Beach.
Yes.
Come to Los Altos.
Yes. It's going to be exciting.
Oh, yes, yes, absolutely. And I was listening to your music and looking at the music, because the music looks like my piano music.
It's exactly the same.
The classical. And I'm looking at it and trying to figure out how on earth do you read that type of music?
Slowly at first. But it's read the same way. Every note on the score has a bell that corresponds to it. So then Carla takes half and I take half, and we try to stay together, and we work on it together.
That would be even more of a challenge when you're playing with another person, isn't it?
Yes. We have to listen and we have to anticipate, and it's a good thing to be married.
Yes. We have plenty of rehearsal time.
I could make all sorts of jokes about the bells are ringing for me, my gal. But I'm very impressed. I'm extremely impressed. The two of you, it sounds absolutely beautiful, and I think God gives us many talents that you obviously, this is your talent.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And when you're not ringing bells, what are you doing?
Do we ever not ring bells?
That's been a long story. They have groups where when he is not ringing bells, I've been a software engineer, but I'm also a piano tuner, and I tutor students. And well, I'm hoping I can just go into retirement and do this with Carla.
Nice. That sounds nice. That sounds delightful. And Carla, how about you? What do you have a different another profession?
I don't have another job at the moment. No, I'm just here. I've only been here since August 2012 when I moved from England.
Oh.
So at the moment, just doing the bell stuff has been enough at the moment.
Oh, I
She
can
runs
imagine.
PR for us.
Yes.
Now, how many hours per day do you practice?
Ooh. I think on the average we're practicing 1 or 2 hours a day.
Yeah. Sometimes more. Sometimes you have a day off, but it's pretty rare, isn't it?
All right. So what about other instruments? You mentioned piano? tuner. So do you play the piano also?
Yes.
All right.
That was piano and clarinet were my first instruments. And then when you get into church music, then you add other things sometimes just because other people do it or because they need it.
Oh, okay. Well, maybe you could teach me my piano. Ironically, I ended up with several pianos after my parents died, and they didn't live together, and so I have a piano here and a piano there. But let's go back to the typhoon. What made you decide you were going to try and raise money for the typhoon?
I mean, we started seeing the pictures all over Facebook and all over the news, and we're actually connected with a lot of people in the Philippines through our Facebook page because we met when we were online, and we had a relationship when we were 6,000 miles apart. The people in the Philippines are very used to the idea of long-distance relationships, so they started getting in touch with us. And of course, you know, once you start to get to know the people, you feel more for them when you see the photos of the terrible devastation. And it just, you know, we saw the pictures and we thought, we've got to do something to help. So, and I mean, with Los Altos United Methodist Church, what we discovered was that if you have an idea, you better be serious about it, because as soon as we said, you know, what about this? They were straight away, there were people right onto it, you know, to help and help us make it happen. So
that's wonderful.
It's been great. Yes.
But you would be open to maybe ringing bells at other churches too, right?
Yeah,
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And so I think that it's very important that we do need to help out. But what I'm kind of thinking, I'm listening to the news, and it's like there's a storm here, there's a storm there, and how people survive. I'm almost embarrassed about living so comfortably here in this area to see the devastation. So we really do need to help out in every way that we can. And so I really applaud you for what you're doing. You're using your talents and you're helping people. So that's, with this bell ringing, is, who would even think? But you're doing it.
We didn't think of that. Before when we started, we were just learning a musical instrument and having fun. Now we can do more.
Yes, you can. And I think a lot of people can do a lot more. And I think if they come and they listen to your music, they certainly, that's an easy one. That's a very, very easy one. Are they asking people to bring some canned goods and other types of things too?
At the moment, they're only asking people to donate money. So
all right,
cash or checks will be great, or a donation online. They're going to stream it live online, and so people can actually click on the donate button on the website, on the church website, and donate that way.
Donate that. Well, I think we can all help. We can all help. We could all kind of go through our closets and maybe clear some of our closets, because I'm sure they need clothes too.
Yes.
So, anyway, I'm so glad that you joined joined Visions Unlimited to listen to these wonderful bell ringers. And isn't that special? Isn't it very, very special? And I certainly hope you listen to that invitation and come to listen to the bells at the United Methodist Church in Los Altos on the 23rd, right?
On the 23rd.
23rd.
3 o'clock.
At 3 o'clock. It will be a wonderful experience, and you're going to be helping people that really, really need it. Can you add to that invitation?
Wow. Come, enjoy the program.
Yes.
Give something of yourself, make the world better.
Very nice, very nice. That's a pearl of wisdom. Make the world better, right? How about you? Do you have a pearl of wisdom?
No, not really. He just said it all, I think.
Well, that says a lot, doesn't it? It really says a lot. And people many times do not really, they hear invitations, they get invitations to so many events. But this is really, really important, to come to an event where it's really helping people that need it.
Yeah.
Right.
And it's the United Methodist Committee on Relief. And the great thing about them is that they guarantee that 100% of the donations that are given will go directly to the people who need it. So
that's good to hear.
It doesn't go in administration costs. It's
that's very good to hear. That's very good to hear. So I think I will also talk to my church in
Great.
Sunnyvale, and
Wonderful.
and see if maybe we can arrange something there and
Yeah.
and spread the word. And I have your business card, Larry and Carla, handbell musicians. You have international experience, obviously, and you
Yes.
have a wonderful story. The fact that you met online, and from many many miles away from each other. But look what music's brought you together, and I love it. I love it. Just wonderful. So be sure and come to this event, because it's very important to support the people who really, really need it. We need to really reach out and support them. And this is a wonderful way to do it. Listen to Larry and Carla ringing the bells. And if you think of any, maybe your church maybe would like to hear some bell ringing also, get involved. Get involved. This is, I want to say thank you very much
Thank you. Thank you very
for
much.
coming.
Thank you. You're welcome.
Okay. All right, so here's some more bells. We'll close out
Okay.
with some bells.